a successful first week.
Yeah. Cheers to a successful-ish launch. Honestly, it did way better than I thought it would. At least in terms of rankings. I think the highest we ever got was like number 7 under children's science fiction. And then in the Kindle paranormal romance, we got up to like number 6 or so.
Yeah.
And we were number 2 under hot new releases for paranormal romance. So that was honestly kind of a surprise because we only sold a few hundred copies.
There was one person in the comments, however, who had a moment of, guys, no, because we outranked Wrinkle in Time. And I think you could see their heartbreak over their comment, like, no, guys, no. Those rankings have nothing to do with, like, the classicness of it, with, like, the overall popularity. It's really just what's selling that day.
Yeah, what sold that day.
Yeah. So today's drink of the week is the Tennessee Hussy, which is brut champagne and Tennessee honey.
You have to find like a super dry champagne because this shit
It's really sweet.
is really, really sweet. Basically, it's just whiskey with honey in it. It's good though. It's just redonkulously sweet. We learned a lot about Poe's Law this week. The very day it got released, we ended up on like Fark and
Reddit.
there was a Lovecraft Reddit, turns out.
People took what was on the tin for face value.
Well, it's funny because people would like sneak into those threads and be like, guys, I think this is a joke, and someone else would jump in and be like, no man, it's real. I think it was either from the Fark thread or the Reddit thread they came into troll Sarah's website. Poor Sarah. Jean-Francois Quaggy said, stop ruining Lovecraft's work. Why not have some imagination for a change? I'm honestly surprised. I thought we wouldn't really get any of the pro-Lovecraft people. I thought they'd kind of look at it and go, ha, and walk away.
Lovecraft is serious business.
Vivi Wannabe responded, she's not ruining it, she's expanding it. To which my personal favorite, Kaka Pizza, took it a step further, like, no, it's rape. Here we go. Yes, raping, says Kaka Pizza.
Hey, Kaka Pizza, wanna know it's rape?
Rape. As far as knowledge of the expanded mythos, I think we naysayers are fine, thank you bunch. And I'm all for funny Cthulhu paraphernalia, and this is rape. Yeah, rape. Rape, 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 rape. Period. Rape.
You see, alright, here's the thing. You keep saying that word. I don't think that word means what you think it means.
He's like, guys, we gotta stop applying rape to, like, nostalgic
to things
sci-fi
you don't
shit.
like.
Bumblebee peeing on John Turturro is not rape. Alien Ninja Turtles is not rape. And young adult Cthulhu romance is not rape. But thank you, Kaka Pizza. You gave us a good laugh. On the other end of the offended young adult fans, we have Goodreads.
Oh, God.
The funny thing is, Goodreads,
I'm tapping out.
Goodreads has developed something of a subculture over the last few years. And honestly, I mean, like, I kind of knew about this in, like, a sort of knowing about it distantly sort of way.
Well, that's why we made the character of Serra, because we were aware of this sort of rising of authors actually engaging and even bullying detractors on sites like Goodreads.
Yeah. Serra, just so we're clear, does not exist, and she is a parody. Serra herself is a parody of the thin-skinned, insecure Colleen Hawkes and Becca Fitzpatricks and other authors that get in fights with their negative reviewers. So one person left a very negative review at the mere idea of the book, taking it at face value.
But it was also so, like, over the top and ridiculous when we first read it. I think we were thinking...
I thought she was one of ours.
Yeah,
like,
oopsie.
Well,
totally
she mentioned... Well, the other
wasn't.
thing was, like, I should have known because she mentioned sock puppets. Guys, don't make sock puppets. Come on. I didn't honestly think that people would do that. So she thought they were all Serra. And so, of course, Serra responded in her thin-skinned, insecure way, but in hindsight, we probably should have tweeted it, because I thought, you know, people would look at it and go, tee-hee, look at what Serra said, and not engage.
Yeah, which, alright, moving forward, write your reviews about it, be it negative or positive. Try to be as honest about the book as you can be. Don't harass people. Really don't harass people.
Well, the other thing is, like, people have a very different idea of what harassment entails. Like, so many people jumped in on this girl and tried to explain to her what was going on, and she was just like, no, I'm a social justice crusader, I'm blocking everyone.
That was fascinating.
She was kind of painting herself as, like, this Edward Snowden whistleblower who was like over here like giving the truth to the masses, and it was just like,
no, there was one.
Our cover's blown, you guys. I trust that most of the people who bought the book bought it knowing that it was a parody and had a good laugh. Some people have left reviews saying that it was not a good parody, and that's fine.
Yeah, some people left reviews being like, this was actually a better written book than I thought it would be.
I had that feeling when we were writing it. We were just like, this is way too cohesive for the things we're parodying. Yes, it's a ridiculous parody, but we did want it to have like an engaging story and characters that you like and make sense and have a voice.
Well, I think then it comes down to what's the difference between parody and satire?
Well, it's almost like the next point just found itself. Let's talk about that. In a way, I feel like this whole project kind of has elements of both. I feel like Serra is a satire, but in the way that Stephen Colbert is.
Yeah.
But the book itself is definitely a parody. Satire is pretending to be something it's not in order to make a comment on something else, like society usually. Whereas parody is just an over-the-top, stupidification of the product. So basically, satire is about society, parody is about the product.
What parody there is in it, even though it's silly and a ridiculous premise, we're remarkably subtle about it when you look at things like Lord of the Rings.
Well, that's why I tend not to like feature-length parodies, and why I thought like we did need to be a stealth parody in order for the damn thing to be readable.
Yeah.
Because like I've read Lord of the Rings, and no joke, it was one of the worst things I've ever read.
Yeah.
It was so awful. Like, it was just, like, poop and fart jokes, and...
There's sort of that thing with the National Lampoon style of parody that it's great for, like, short-form SNL stuff, but, like, man, like, long-form, you're just like, no.
Yeah, well, like, it's like that parody of Game of Thrones.
The success of the show is linked to its two creative consultants, author George R.R. Martin.
I'm on set to ensure that the show honors the spirit of my books.
And Adam Friedberg, a 13-year-old boy.
I make sure there are lots of boobs in the show.
And that was a 3-minute skit, but could you imagine a feature length of that? No, it would be unbearable. Spaceballs and Young Frankenstein, I think, are good examples of bearable parodies. They have lovable and memorable characters on top of basically existing to play up genre tropes and poke fun at them.
In a way, in our own wicked way, we do kind of love the young adult paranormal romance thing because it wouldn't engage us so much if there wasn't something about it that just kind of captured our fancy.
Yeah.
But I think it was Mel Brooks who said, like, you make a parody because you love it.
Yeah,
Because
to an extent. My attitude on young adult is complicated, and in the same way that my attitude on Transformers is complicated. So
It's complicated.
It's like on my Facebook status. It's complicated with young adult paranormal romance
And Transformers.
and also Transformers. It's polyamorous.
Mermaid Transformers.
A mermaid. You know what's real sad is like I went for like my whole life not knowing about that, and if I did know about it, my brain went nope, and just blocked it. No, I did that when Bumblebee peed on a guy. My brain went nope, and I just forgot about it. It was like the truck nuts in the second movie. See, this is what happens when I start
Complicated.
When I start talking
All
about
right,
Transformers.
no more Transformers. Back to YA paranormal romance.
We as a culture have become so obsessed with it because it's become so popular, but at the same time, it's not like there's nothing redeemable about like that sort of first love and adding like this magical element into it. And we really did get caught up in the story, like especially the secondary characters.
Oh, yeah.
To me, I think that is sort of the worst thing about this book, as a reading experience, is that the main character is so awful. And
We made her really awful.
yeah, and I'm having the same problem with American Gods, which I'm just now getting around to reading, and I'll read like 50 pages like, I hate you, Shadow. I'm gonna read another book, and I'll like blow through another book. I need to go back to American Gods. Fuck this, another book. Blow through that one. Fuck, I'm out of books, American Gods. So if that is parody, it's something that plays up the tropes, either lovingly or not. Lord of the Rings. What is satire?
When I think satire, I always think back to Jonathan
Swift.
And it's a classic example.
Yeah, it's what they teach in like high school English.
Yeah.
Because it's so obvious and it's so over the top.
And yet people really did legitimately think he was serious.
yeah. So I feel like it kind of, in ways, is both, if, depending on which attitude you take. That said, I don't feel like this book is really trying to make a comment on society, nor is the project at this point, because it's so obviously a parody. To me, anyway.
Because we created Serra, though,
Yeah.
I think we are making some sort of loving jibe at our modern ages and the internet ages.
I feel no loving anything towards these authors.
Okay.
If you are an author that gets in Goodreads fights with your detractors, you suck. Like, straight up, stop it. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
You're hurting America.
Yeah. Writing fiction is such a personal thing. Mm-hmm. And so whenever people go after little tiny books about how fucking awful they are, then I feel kind of like, guys, come on. You know, but then there are the 50 Shades of Greys,
where it's like, hey, you just romanticized, like, abuse. And to have an author then go, lol, nope, my fantasy, lol, fly off to the sun. I mean, that's what drives me crazy.
That's what's so fascinating about these types, is this sort of just like, no, whenever they hear criticism and that they need to correct people like E.L. James and Colleen Houck, and that there's just such insecurity and such a thin skin that they just need to know and like react against these people who aren't getting it.
People who interact with their fan base or with humanity in general as a creator of art, who act that way, like, it bothers me.
Well, here's the other thing. Writing fiction is hard. You put something of yourself into it. Something that you yourself probably may not even consciously perceive. You know, like my kinky shit or my daddy issues or whatever. But the thing is, world, when you put anything out into a public sphere, you are opening it to criticism. And you are not exempt from it just because it's your fantasy or someone doesn't get it. Mm-hmm. Or especially if they're trying to call you out on being, like, romanticizing abuse, E.L. James.
The thing that has most been revealed to me in this whole thing, having our baby now released to the world at large, is how quickly and almost foolishly people get passionate about things, and that's not a terrible thing, though.
Well, I mean, it is kind of funny that, you know, it's like we created Serra as a parody of drama, and then actual drama happened. It was like, no, we didn't want. What have we done?
Oh God, we created a monster.
And Edward Snowden has to do the right thing, man. Got to blow that whistle, and people may not like the truth.
It's a scam. Because it's a scam.
So, but the thing is, for the most part, we've been having so much fun with what people are doing. Yeah. There's Awoken fanfic now, which is the greatest.
Yes.
People live blogging the book has been hilarious.
Oh, you have made my workday so much more pleasurable. Yeah. Thank you.
Special shout out to Theoli, who's
cheers.
Whose live blog has been hilarious, and we've like read out loud at parties. So in the meantime, keep leaving reviews. Of course, if you still want it on Kindle or paperback, you can do it down there.
Yeah.
And of course, we have great fun with all of them. Be honest as you like. We hope you find it funny. We want it to be funny.
Yeah. But by all means, be honest if you feel like it's someone once put it as a really good second draft, which I'm fine with. Oh my God, that's actually almost flattered. Like, that's a go team. Considering we were consolidating the writing of 8 authors, hey, I'll take it.
After we keep tracking this and see where it goes. Sequel.